Oh,
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 God damn
shit.
it. Oh, shit. What the fuck is up, bro?
What the fuck are you doing?
I'm just putting together some predictions because baseball season is here, baby.
It feels so good to be back. Bow, 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 bow.
We have
Hell
our
yeah.
first MLB game in 2 days, Rick. It has been a long off season, longer for others than most, like us.
Yeah,
but
look
we're
how they
back.
stick that regular season opener right in the middle of everybody else's spring training.
Right. You gotta love them playing exhibition, 2 games that matter, then exhibition again, and then MLB opening day.
You gotta love that.
I
Like when
get
the
why
A's
they
went
do
to
it.
Japan, I think it was
Mm-hmm.
play the Mariners, come back, finish or actually I don't remember. It might have been the Angels, the most recent one. I can't quite remember. I know there was a Mariners series somewhere, but yeah, come back and finish exhibitions.
And
They're
then
2
start
games
the
that
games mean
counted.
something again.
Yeah. Oh. And then
Yeah.
it's like the rotation, the opening starter. I'd have to go back and look, but does the opening day starter then throw again at the home opener? Like, does he
Right.
double
And
up? Might as well if he's your best
there's
pitcher.
enough rest time. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
So
if you don't know, we're talking about the Seoul Series coming up starting on Wednesday morning at 3 a.m. You got the Padres and the Dodgers playing in South Korea, part of the whole world tour of MLB this year.
I'm hyped for it. I'm
very
ready.
excited.
I've been waiting. We patiently waiting.
It's a 7:05 p.m. local time start in Korea, and for those on the West Coast, that's a lovely 3:05 a.m. Will you be up watching it, Rick?
If I have access to it, do I need to get a subscription?
I think it's actually going to be on ESPN. ESPN hates baseball, but it might actually be on ESPN.
If it's on ESPN, I'll watch it. If I gotta buy MLB Network or something, then I probably will not watch it at 3 a.m.
I do still subscribe to MLB.TV, so I'll probably end up watching it somehow. Nope, even though it's a Padres game, I'm in San Diego, it'll be blacked out for me.
These are all hypotheticals. Hypothetically,
right.
It'll be blacked out.
I'm just hypothetically my gears getting grinded right now.
Yeah. This is potential gear grinding, but we've seen this story before. I remember when the A's opened against the Mariners in Japan, it was only on Root Sports. I did not have it on my local, where the A's usually play. At the time, it was Comcast Sports Net Bay Area, maybe NBC Sports California. But regardless, it was only on the Mariners' local network, Root Sports. Because I don't live in Seattle. Yeah. And this was before I was able to figure out how to illegally stream games. So I was out of luck. Right. I don't mind it though, because I did listen to Korak and Fosse on the radio at 2 a.m., which was sick. Back when the A's had a radio station.
That's not what this episode's about, Rick. We're gonna take a week off shitting on the A's.
I'm not even trying to.
It's just the fact naturally.
I was like, oh wow, wait a minute, we had a radio station back then before they went all streaming, and now they're on some random AM thing. But yeah, they had like 95.7 The Game FM, and it was sick. It was 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and I'm listening to Korak give the live call from the Japan Dome or the Tokyo Dome, and so I'm excited. Hopefully, if it's on ESPN. I'll put it on. I'm a baseball fan at the end of the day, so
right. Yeah, I'll set the alarm and I'll put the game on and I'll watch
Pods and Dodgers, right? So we got
correct
Shohei versus Tatis. This is actually a fucking battle royale.
Yes. Some names here. You get Mookie Betts, you get Shohei, you get Joe Musgrove, you get Tatis, you get Freeman, you get the Korean native Ha-Sung Kim.
Xander Bogaerts, Manny Machado. Oh my!
Padres just announced today Jackson Merrill, the top prospect, just earned the center
Oh,
field starting job.
wow.
Yeah.
What?
Newly acquired Padre pitcher Dylan
Over
Cease.
Cronenworth? Or is Cronenworth playing first base?
Cronenworth is playing first base, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Jackson Merrill's...
For hypothetical fantasy purposes, that may be significant to some.
Yes.
But I'm juiced. I'm excited. Fucking go.
It's finally upon us. And with that being said, I want it, since there's basically 2 weeks of episodes worth before the season actually starts, not counting these 2 games on Wednesday, wanted to do our NL and AL predictions, little preview. And we want to keep this under 3 hours. So we're going to split it up, National League first and then American League next week. And
yeah,
because if we tried to cram in everything, that pod's going to be 3 hours. And I don't think our audience is ready for that yet.
Yeah, the millions and millions of confessioners out there. I don't know. That's asking a lot with all of our busy schedules to hang in there for a 2-hour MLB season preview. So we're gonna do you guys a solid here and keep it towards under an hour, like we've been striving to do, and just keep delivering that hot content for you guys.
That hot content. With that being said, let's dive right into it. Rick, I have written down our 2023 predictions last year. We're no experts here. We're no experts.
Right. And it was nice that they were not recorded or put public, because boy, were there a lot of misses. But I guess
there's a couple hits though. There's a couple hits.
Okay, yeah. I need to be reminded. So part of this will probably be major confessions.
We're going to start off with the 2023 Paul's NL Division winner predictions, which I correctly had the NL West with the Dodgers, the NL East with the Braves, but I chose the St. Louis Cardinals to win the NL Central, and they just so happened to finish last place last year.
Yeah, boy, did they have a rough year. And it's been a freaking rough time for the Cardinals, man. You have Goldschmidt and Arenado. The hype after they got those guys, I mean, they should have been running the table in this division. And
that division
they feel
has
like
been
the National League
forever.
version. Yeah. And they feel like the National League version of the Angels right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. So I think the Cardinals they felt so comfortable because that division has just been so weak for so long that they never had to do much. They could win 86 games and just win the division. They never had the competition.
And a bunch of underperforming, good named pitchers. It's quite odd how bad the Cardinals have been.
So with your 2023 division picks,
you
had one
out of 3. That's pretty good.
I had 2 out of 3. That's not bad. That's not bad. Thank you. Yeah. Rick, you got 1 out of 3.
Okay.
You had the Atlanta Braves winning the NL East.
Nice.
You as well had the St. Louis Cardinals winning the Central.
Wow.
And you got a little recency bias, and you chose the San Diego Padres to win the NL West.
God damn it. I was so on the Padres train. Even after I was very critical that they went out on the town after winning.
Oh.
Was it the Division Series?
It's the Division Series.
They went out on the town. One of their pitchers, I think, was buying out a bar or something for all the fans.
It wasn't a pitcher. It was Will Myers. Or was it Musgrove? Was it Musgrove or Will Myers?
Yeah, Will Myers sounds more. I think it was.
Because Myers is a longtime Padre.
But they win the Division Series, and these guys are celebrating. Like Machado had a shirt off, I remember. This is like, I mean, yes, everybody celebrates after they win every round, and they beat the Dodgers.
They beat the Dodgers, so you got that monkey off your back.
But boy, it doesn't look good when you celebrate like you won the World Series, and then
the division.
Yeah, that was just the Division Series. You still had 2 series to win after that, and where are you at now? So I was still, even though I was critical about that, I still wanted to believe that they were better and have grown up now into adults and can win that division consistently. And that has not happened. And Juan Soto is not there anymore.
I am in firm belief when I'm doing these predictions, you just can't take it away from the Dodgers until somebody actually does. Till somebody actually wins the division other than the Dodgers, you just have to say the Dodgers every year.
You do, and you don't have to pick them to win the World Series, but you have to pick them to win that division.
You do have to pick them to win that division every single year until somebody else dethrones them.
And they just probably will flail in the playoffs. But yeah, we will get to that.
Yeah. So last year NL wildcard predictions, I go 1 for 3 in my wildcard predictions. I correctly guessed the Philadelphia Phillies. I say the New York Mets. I hide that hype train with Steve Cohen spending $500 million on the roster. I'm like, how do they not make a wild card?
Yeah, the hype train was
they just
real.
showed how not to make a wild card after spending all that money. And then I too had the Padres making the wild card. I knew they were going to be good last year. I thought they were going to be good last year. Thought they couldn't win the division, but they'd still make a wild card, and I was proven wrong. You also had the New York Mets making the wild card. You correctly had the Phillies.
Mm-hmm.
And then you chose the Dodgers to make the wild card. So, I mean, they're still a playoff team, so you get like half credit there.
It's just crazy to think Dodgers and wild card at this point. But the Mets hype train was real, and part of me buying into it was because our boy Mark Canha had just become a New York Met, and we were happy for him getting a contract. We're not supposed to shit on the A's this week, but boy, you're not going to get that contract in Oakland. So you go, Cohen gives him big money over New York. Whether or not Mark Canha was worth that is a different story, but I was happy that he got it and he was a starter and they're expecting big things from him in the big city. It didn't quite work out. And, boy, I wanted it to work out. It also didn't help that Diaz got hurt in the WBC, but that's not the reason that they lost all those games.
That is true. And then the last prediction I want to get for before we start getting into this year's predictions, last year's NL pennant winner, I incorrectly chose the Atlanta Braves, and you chose the San Diego Padres to win the National League pennant last year.
Boy. And I usually don't ride hype like this. I am a realist, and I usually can sniff out the hype and damn it. But boy, I'm a bad dog there. So yeah, not great on the predictions, and we're not even talking about the AL this week. And boy, is that going to be a rough prediction recap there for me. So
I can't wait to talk about your American League pennant 2023 prediction next week.
Pretty much. And that is a new addition to the Car Attendant Confession Show that you may see popping up. We don't know if it's going to work. We don't know if it's going to stick, but that may be something new to look out for all you confessionites out there.
I got to say, I was not prepared for our asses in the jackpot now.
It's one of the greatest and most confusing things ever said between an umpire and a manager that I can recall.
Right. I like it so much more than Aaron Boone's "My boys are fucking savages in that box." That one's fine and all, but this one, one between the Mets manager and the umpire is just top notch, top tier entertainment.
What does that even mean? Our ass is in the jackpot now. Can you set the stage for this? I don't know if it's obvious what we're talking about right now.
It was it the World Series or was it the NLCS?
Oh no. Dude, I no, this is the Mets manager coming out. I don't even think it was playoffs because they're wearing throwback jerseys.
I believe it was playoffs because Noah Syndergaard throws behind a player twice and he doesn't even hit the player and he gets kicked out in the first inning. And God, what the hell is the managers of the Mets name? Right. He comes out and says some outlandish stuff that I can't even repeat on this podcast.
Yeah. We're talking about we're talking about Terry Collins.
Terry Collins, thank you. Terry Collins comes out and just so happened that the umpire was mic'd up for this game and just an all-time rant. And Terry Collins is yelling at the home plate umpire, telling him, "You got to give us a shot. You got to give us your shot." And this umpire just goes, Terry, listen to me. Terry, our ass is in the jackpot now. Like,
Yeah.
What does that mean?
And then before that, he's saying like MLB's not trying to get this guy or some random shit. Like, were they doing this on purpose? Was this like a stunt? What? What are you guys talking about? Is this how umpire manager fights happen?
I was not expecting this.
This happened in June 2018, by the way.
So all right, so it was not playoffs.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure seemed like such a big moment. I don't know.
I think because I don't know who they were playing, but they were it sounded loud there. So maybe when did Citi Field open? But they probably had a lot of people in the stands. Syndergaard was a starter at the time, and he was a big name for them to acquire.
Yeah, it's before he fell off.
Yeah, it's not unlikely that they got. Oh, actually, this might have been the 2016 season. May have gotten that date wrong earlier, but
next week I want to do a deep dive into our asses in the jackpot now.
We should stick with our predictions for now.
Yeah, next week I want to get into that because that's such an all-time call.
Yeah, that's just wild. But they were wearing throwbacks. I think they had the V-neck throwbacks on, so a regular season game most likely. Yeah. And it's New York, so they get a lot of fans at their games, and which is nice and typically sounds like a playoff game.
You know what, Rick? It's a brand new year, so let's wipe 2023's predictions away.
Get it out of here.
And get that. Go on, get out of here. I would like to go first just because my picks are pretty bland for this year's division winners.
Did you keep it realistic and to try to stack up wins here?
I chose the exact same 3 division winners I had last year.
Ow.
I have the Atlanta Braves winning the NL East. I have the Los Angeles Dodgers winning the NL West.
Go on.
Now this is kind of a bold prediction here. I have the St. Louis Cardinals winning the NL Central this year. They're going from worst to first this year.
When Jack Buck said go crazy, you took it literally. You're crazy. You're crazy, man.
You're crazy, man. Yes.
Yeah. You've gone mad. I have
the St. Louis Cardinals winning it all, and that's a very bold prediction of me.
So it's actually not that crazy because I did have them in until the last second, and I swapped them out. At the end of, or right before we hopped on here, I was looking up the National League Central, and the Brewers were the division winners last year.
Yeah, don't even remember that.
Don't remember that. And all I know is that they lost Corbin Burns. They do got a bunch of young outfield talent coming up, but I'm going to bet against them this year, and it's probably the wrong choice because they fucking tend to run that division all the time. They're always relevant in that division because of pitching.
You can't have back-to-back years of Goldschmidt and Arenado having a down year. They added a lot of veteran arms to that rotation. I think this team has a complete bounce back, and with that terrible division, the NL Central, I have them winning it again.
Yeah, I think it's a hot pick. It's not too hot of a take, like you said. Those vets, Arenado and Goldschmidt, are top of their class. I mean, at their positions, they're both Gold Glove winners.
They're leaving their prime. They're on their way out of their prime, but out of their prime is still pretty damn good.
And any day now, Jordan Walker's going to click and be a stud. So
Nolan Gorman, Lars Nootbaar, Tommy Edmonds starting off hurt, but he'll be back. You got the names there.
You do got names, so that's cool. That's an exciting pick.
Yes,
I'm rooting for you, but I went elsewhere in the Central. So
let's hear it.
Did you already give your wild cards? You did, right?
No, I didn't do this year's wild cards. Would you like? I'll give you my wild cards this year.
I thought you did.
No, I said Braves, Cardinals, Dodgers for division winners.
Okay.
I gave you last year's wild cards. I haven't given this year's.
Okay.
This year's wild cards pretty feels like a no-brainer. The Philadelphia Phillies make the wild card yet again. They're just playing right behind the Braves. It's going to be a tough division. Went a little off the rails here for the last 2 picks. Give me 2 more teams from the National League West.
They're
The
probably my picks.
The San Diego Padres and the San Francisco Giants are going to make the wild card.
Hot takes.
Granted, Blake Snell just signed with the Giants maybe 35 minutes ago.
They're
As we're
not a
recording this,
bad team.
they're not a bad team.
They're not, and they have surprised that division more than a few times in the last 10, 15 years. They've won 3 titles, and the Dodgers won 1 bubble championship.
What was it, 2021, when the Giants won like 106 games or something like that and won the division?
Yeah, that was wild.
There's nobody on that roster, and they won 106. Nobody.
I mean, it's a pitcher's
The team
park.
looks so much better. Yeah.
And this, their current roster right now on paper looks way better than whatever that team was. And boy, what was it? 2 years removed from that record, and Gabe Kapler was out. So
Exactly.
I too am looking at the Giants as this is kind of the pick that could, you can catch people with this one, because everyone's looking at the Dodgers and the Padres and the Braves and the Phillies, and
the Padres is kind of my hot take, because they had such the most disappointing, embarrassing season last year after spending all that money, giving up all that talent for Soto and everybody. So Soto's out of town now. The team, Bomel's out of there now. So like the Padres kind of felt like more of just a personal pick. I want them to make it. I was down here during their playoff run, and after they beat the Dodgers, not the to win that series, but just one of the games at home, I just decided to go downtown, just feel like the vibe of the city, and just everybody's outside honking and celebrating in the streets and whatnot. It honestly reminded me of growing up with those A's playoff runs that we had. And so I just want to be in a city where there's playoff baseball again. So maybe that's why I'm just trying to speak this one into existence with the Padres as one of my wild card teams.
Yeah, I get that. And yeah, there's a little bit of, feels to it. It would be amazing. And my take is I just don't believe in this. I don't believe in the Padres anymore.
Oh, absolutely.
Like for all the reasons you just said that they should be better is the reasons I think that they're still not going to be good. You had Bomel, you had Juan Soto. Why couldn't that work? And
it just didn't make sense last year.
How does shipping them out make them better is my question.
I should have gotten the stat right. I should have looked it up beforehand, but there's a stat last year that they had one of the worst records in one-run ball games last year, and one of the worst records in extra inning games. So, and they barely missed out on the wild card. So a couple games that they got unlucky last game, if that luck turns around, just 2 or 3 of those games, they're in the playoffs. So I don't think they'll have repeat performances in one-run games or extra inning games.
Right.
So that's kind of my little helpful nugget of why they could make the wild card. I feel like
they were always. When I was at MLB TV last year, and it's like, late night on a weeknight. I feel like there was always a late inning Padres game as the last game of the night, and I'm always seeing them playing a close one. Yeah.
For some of our listeners know this, but I worked at a brewery 3 blocks away from Petco Park for all last baseball season, and
Name that announcer.
I don't know.
We talked about him last week.
Yeah, Hawk Harrelson.
It's the Hawk.
God damn it. You've completely changed my mind about the Hawk, and it's in a week time period. You
know what? I mean, there wasn't. What your first statement last week wasn't completely, crazy. I think there are some things that could rub people the wrong way about him. I did sort of, in just my downtime this week, look up some Hawk Harrelson stuff, and he for instance, on calls, if the other team hits a walk-off, he just doesn't say anything. He's
Okay,
just
that's exactly
completely
what I was going
silent.
to bring up. Colin
And
Cowherd did a segment on this a few years back, talking about how people hate Joe Buck calling baseball games. But then he pulled up a Hawk Harrelson clip, the beloved Hawk Harrelson. It was a game against like the Mariners, and the Mariners hit like this 4-run home run to take the lead late in the game. And the hometown Hawk Harrelson, after the home run, you hear the crack of the bat and silence for about 45 seconds, and then you just hear Mariners lead 4-1.
I don't mind that. That is,
No.
I think it's kind of a 50-50 split. Like, you are either with him or you don't fuck with that. Like, it pisses you off. And like we were talking about with football announcers, like, don't hype up the other team scoring a touchdown if you're doing my local team's broadcast. And I fuck with that with Hawk Harrelson. Just not even saying shit if the other team hit a home run. What am I supposed to say? I think he's like he sounded like a real fan on the broadcast, and he might be a little too much too, because he's yelling and he's loud on the call. It could be a little too much. I'm not a White Sox fan. I didn't watch him night in, night out, and it wasn't on my TV. So, but from the outside looking in, I don't mind him. I like it. It's a little different. It's not the same bland general announcer. And so anyways, that was I think that's from like Paul Konerko's 400th career homer. It actually happened against the A's, and I forget who threw it. It might have been Grant Balfour. But yeah, it was like instead of or it was an addition to put it on the board, yes. And he just then he followed it up with a hell yes. It's like, oh man, this is great. I'm clipping this.
All right, back off of that Hawk Harrelson tangent. The hell yes was me working at a brewery 2 blocks away from Petco Park all last baseball season. And I remember I was working opening night there, and the Padres lost a heartbreaker on opening day, and everybody comes into the brewery after the game, and everybody's all like sad. And I'm like, guys, don't worry about it. It's it's 162 games. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, that opening night was what we saw that night was basically what happened every single night there. And the crowd started dwindling at the brewery halfway through the season, really affecting my money. So I actually am not happy with the Padres, because when they were doing well, there was more money in our pockets. And by late August, like there's just people weren't coming in anymore. And they're just tired of the heartbreak. Like they still had their fans. They actually still did well, but people stopped hanging out downtown earlier and after games due to like they would go to the games, but it was just too depressing to go out after.
Yeah. I mean, it probably turns into a ghost town. Does that happen in Chicago? Does that happen in, around Wrigley, around Yankee Stadium? You good?
You didn't tell me that you had a soundboard, and so
again,
I'm not prepared.
Trial
for this.
Run.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it's going to come out very quiet in the end recording.
I feel that way as well. There's definitely better ways to integrate this.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have the time. Didn't care. Fuck it. But
all right.
I do wonder, in Chicago by Wrigley, New York by Yankee Stadium, and some of the other ballparks, when that team is, say, floundering or even around 500 or out of it,
just below expectations.
But what's the bar scene like? What's downtown atmosphere like? Is it still popping, or do they have that loyal fan base that's going to be out there no matter what, still going to games, still, treating it like they got a shot, or just at least attending games and attending bars throughout the season? I get why it would dwindle for San Diego, but it's amazing what the potential is there, because in other places,
San Diego still did great with
that.
their attendance. San Diego did great with their game attendance, but the feel of downtown was just completely different than like the first few weeks of the season. Oh, there was a buzz downtown. Like that opening series at Petco, there was just a buzz in downtown San Diego, and it just kind of dwindled because they got off to a slow start, and then like it would pick back up for a Dodger series because Dodgers came in on Cinco de Mayo last year, so that was a great time. Huge huge buzz in downtown San Diego. But then like later on through the year, like the games were kind of packed, but the downtown lifestyle of baseball just wasn't, it didn't have the same feel.
Ah,
all right.
They could get
So, yeah,
they could have a good year. I mean, there's no reason they shouldn't. Tatis, Machado, Bogarts. Jesus.
You still have Musgrove, Yu Darvish, and newly acquired Dylan Cease in that rotation.
Whew.
Bullpen's a little tough, but you know, you got Ha-Seong Kim, who's taking over full-time shortstop. No, Hader signed with Houston.
I saw today he gave a back-to-back Yackers to Jake Berger and Jazz Chisholm. Yeah. Yeah. I was a big Jazzy guy 2 years ago, and he's kind of let me down a little bit. So
just got to stay on the field.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So that's my division and wild card. Let me hear yours.
So, like you, I also went Braves in the East, Dodgers in the West. I learned my lesson. Mm-hmm. The National League West belongs to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Shohei Ohtani goes to the Dodgers. They add Yamamoto as well. They also added who else did they add in the outfield?
Teoscar Hernandez.
Oh my God. That team is filthy. Oh yeah, Gavin Lux is still there. He got hurt, but he's still there. It's not right. And they got what's his name too, the center fielder, the young kid who just
James Outman.
James Outman just sprouted up recently. Like he still has a career ahead of him.
You still have Mookie. You still have Freddie Freeman. You
still not to mention not to mention a couple of former MVPs.
Yes.
So
yeah,
the Dodgers are my pick in the West. That's not a hot take at all. But here's where I'm going in the Central. And I thought about the Cardinals. I'm going with the Chicago Cubs.
I like it.
They were bottom of the barrel not that long ago. And then they had guys like Nico Horner and I think they added Dansby Swanson, then Seiya Suzuki. And I just think they didn't quite put it all together, but they needed some other pieces for this year. And I think they're going to surprise some people. And
they bring back Cody Bellinger.
Yes.
They bring back Cody Bellinger.
He had an incredible year last year. I did not see that coming. I thought he was on the down.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he's going to do that again, but
international free agent Shota Imanaga to that starting rotation, who I'm very excited to see.
Me too. That's an interesting one. So I got them over in the Central, and I think the Pirates are going to be better. We both are big on the Pirates. The Reds, I think, are going to be better. And they looked really hot last year too. I just can't see. I don't know about the pitching over there in Cincinnati. And
that's one of those, they just have to prove it to us first before we could give them that spot.
Right. And the same with Pittsburgh. I like Mitch Keller a lot and Priester. And
I'll be happy if the Pirates could stay around 500. The Pirates to me always feel like the A's of the East with just another terrible owner. The only difference is they have a great ballpark.
Beautiful ballpark.
Top 5 ballpark, easy. So I always kind of root for the Pirates because they just have that A's of the East feel. So if they're, but if I'm a realist with them, if they could linger around 500 late in the year, I'll be very happy.
Yeah, that's what I think you said last year too. So come on, Pirates.
Come on, Pirates.
Get up.
Come on. Get out of there.
And then my wild cards. So I'm going back to the Phillies for the wild card.
Yep.
How do you deny Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Real Muto, and just a team
Aaron
of studs?
Nola, Zach Wheeler,
Kyle Schwarber. Jesus.
Big Dick Nick Castellanos.
There's a deep drive in the left field, and It's going to be a 3-run homer for Nick Castellanos, and I might not be back in this booth. One team that was, and here's my number 2 and number 3 wild card spots, but I kind of got to explain. They were left off of yours, and I'm a little bit surprised because they were in the freaking World Series last year, the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Oh, oops. Whoopsies.
Zach Gallen, Eduardo Rodriguez, I believe, Corbin Carroll, Jake McCarthy. Who's that? Jake McCarthy's not even like their number 4 outfielder. I think he's like their number 5 outfielder. He might not even make the cut. They've got, I think they got Perdomo, Ketel Marte, Christian Walker. They've got some boys over there in Arizona.
So everything I'm about to say now is going to completely contradict me not picking them. Their biggest questions this year was adding another starting pitcher and adding some power to the lineup, especially at third base. They go out and get Eugenio Suarez from the Mariners. They sign Eduardo Rodriguez. They re-sign Lourdes Gurriel Jr. to play left field. And they bring in Jock Peterson to play DH, like the perfect playoff person, Jock Peterson.
Not as high on Jock. Don't really care for Jock, but I know that you like Lourdes.
It just adds a lefty power bat
and
to
I've
that,
always
to
been
that
an
team.
Eduardo Rodriguez guy. I think he just needed a better landing spot.
My thing is, they caught lightning in a bottle last year, and they did improve everywhere where they needed to improve. So I feel insane not adding them to the list, but I don't think the things are going to go their way. They only made the playoffs last year due to they made it by like a game. Oh, that's what there was a Manny Machado potential grand slam against this one team, and it missed it by a matter of inches. It was caught at the wall. That ball goes 4 inches higher and goes over the wall. The Diamondbacks don't make the playoffs. They end up going to the NL pennant over a couple of inches.
Yeah, they sneak into the playoff and they beat the Dodgers. So
they got hot at the right time. Brandon Pfaadt, who was a top prospect pitcher who did dog shit during the regular season, gets sent back down, gets called back up, and just starts pitching his ass off and does great in the postseason. I don't think that's going to happen again. I don't think the Diamondbacks catch that lightning again this year. I hope I'm wrong, because it's a young, fun team. It's a really fun team to watch.
Young and fun. Those guys.
Trust me, I hate the Giants. I do not want the Giants in. I would much rather have the Diamondbacks in the playoffs than the Giants.
Yeah. So I'm throwing the Diamondbacks in there. Reason being is I just don't trust the Padres. That's what it comes down to. Number 3 wildcard team. Obviously not the Padres. And it goes along with kind of the theme here, unfortunately. The San Francisco Giants. Pitching matters. We all get all hyped up on all these hitters and all these big contracts, but pitching matters. And boy, the Giants usually always have good pitching, and that ballpark helps too. And they usually don't sign free agents, and this year they actually did. We saw Matt Chapman happening for months.
Oh yeah,
kind of already knew that was going to happen. But the fact
I
that
just assumed he was on the Giants.
Yeah. Soler was not one I was expecting, but it's quite a
big signing.
It's interesting. I don't know how much I believe in Soler and in that park, but this is interesting, and I think the biggest one of all is Jung-Hoo Lee, the international signing. Kind of under the radar.
With hitting 300 this year for sure.
Everyone was talking about Yamamoto and Ohtani all off season. This is a guy who did pretty well in the WBC, including off of Yamamoto. And so, let's see. I mean, sounds fun.
Add Blake Snell to that rotation with Logan Webb. That's right.
Logan Webb finished second in the Cy Young last year, I think. And
wow.
And then Snell, who won the Cy Young. So
what's that one stat? The Giants haven't had a 30 home run hitter since Barry Bonds last played.
And they will not have another one this year either.
You don't think Soler gets 30 home runs?
No, I don't see it. It's going to be tough. I don't believe in that park. Home runs like that. And Soler has had some moments, and he should have done more in Miami. after winning the World Series MVP with the Braves. So he could have some moments, but I don't think he's gonna put it all together over the course of a year. But I think he'll matter.
Got it.
These are hot takes. We're gonna have to play this back and at the end of the year. Boy.
Speaking of some hot takes, you mentioned World Series MVP. How about just some regular season awards and our 2023 predictions? I actually went one. We're going to do NL MVP, NL Cy Young, and NL Rookie of the Year. And I actually went 1 for 3 last year. I actually got NL Rookie of the Year, Corbin Carroll. It was basically the odds-on favorite that I took him, but oh well.
Yeah.
My NL MVP, who's one of my favorite ball players, I chose Matt Olson last year.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. He led the National League in homers last year, but unfortunately his teammate ended up winning MVP in Ronald Acuna.
Just put together one of the greatest batting average, home runs, and stolen base seasons of all time.
It goes 40-70. My NL Cy Young is bad.
I do not remember who it was supposed to be. Was it you, Darvish?
No. My NL Cy Young, I chose Julio Urias. My ass is in the jackpot now with that pick as my NL Cy. That's bad.
The incident hadn't happened yet, so I take that back. It's not bad, but it's bad because of what happened. But how could you predict that? Good thing one of us didn't pick Wander Franco to win the MVP. That'd be embarrassing.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Julio Urias is no longer in baseball. I chose him to be my NL Cy Young.
That's right. Oh, man.
I won't get into the details of Julio Urias. You could look that up on your own. But just know my pick, he's no longer in baseball.
And he's always wanted to play for his hometown Tomateros. Well, he probably will be pretty soon.
He probably will be.
Good for him.
The actual winner... give me... the actual winners were Ronald Acuna for MVP, Blake Snell for Cy Young, and Corbin Carroll for Rookie of the Year. I had Matt Olson, Julio Urias, and Corbin Carroll.
Not bad.
Rick, what were yours? Not bad. Getting one is not bad. And Matt Olson having a great year. It's not like he was a bum.
Do you have mine, or do I have to look him up?
Oh, I have yours. Do you want me to just... I wrote yours down.
Yeah, because let me take one. If I have them... Oh, I think I do have them.
I'm saying I got them now if you need it.
I do have them. Okay, so for the MVP, I had Manny Machado. That didn't happen.
Riding that Padres train last year.
I really was. And
it makes sense. If you're going to pick them to be the NL pennant winner, you might as well have the MVP on that team.
Yeah, and you're going to see a theme when I get into my predictions too. But Cy Young, I had Max Fried from Atlanta, and I think he had an injury last year, right?
Yeah. It's not a bad pick if he could stay healthy. And I think I looked at the odds for this year, and he's still pretty high up there.
Wow. Yeah. I'm staying away from him this year. Who knows? So I don't feel bad about... I actually don't feel bad about any of my picks. But I did go 0 for 3. And the National League Rookie of the Year, I picked Kodai Senga, a pitcher for the Mets in his first year.
Didn't he finish second or third in it, though?
I think he finished top 3. But there was a similar hype train to Senga last off season as kind of Yamamoto this year. I know Ohtani kind of overtook it, but Senga was a big name last year coming over from Japan, and he was, to answer your question, he finished 7th in the Cy, 2nd in the Rookie of the Year. He was
there you go
12-7 with a 2.98 ERA in 29 starts. So
yeah,
not bad. I don't feel bad about that. The only thing now is that he's hurt to start this year, which sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But more and more you're seeing the international guys come in and find early success. before it used to be kind of a
Yes.
crapshoot. Ichiro was like the only one that pulled it off. And then maybe like
we won
Daisuke.
MVP and Rookie of the Year.
And then maybe Daisuke for a little bit. But, and I think, I can't remember the other guy. The Cubs have another guy? But, yeah, more and more you see it happen this year. And like I said, this is kind of getting into what my theme looks like for this year. So, what's happening this year?
Go on ahead and dive on in, Rick. It's 2024. Who are your MVP, Cy Young, and Rookie of the Year for the National League?
It's almost like I can't deny who the MVP is going to be. And you think I'm going to say Acuna. I'm not, because that was such an incredible season that I don't think he can do it again. I think this guy has so much around him that his potential is going to fully come out again. And he's going to win his second MVP, and he's going to happen in another league, and it's Mookie Betts.
I was thinking, I think you're going to say Mookie. Nice. Very nice pick.
I love Mookie. I mean, yeah, I really like him as a player.
He's a great player to watch. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I want to see him succeed. We're really rooting hard for him in the WBC. And yeah. For Cy Young, I could not convince myself to not pick him, because all I could keep thinking about is that I think this team is going to be good, and I think that ballpark plays so well for him. I'm going with Logan Webb to win the Cy Young. Yeah.
You know, Logan Webb does have a soft spot with us. He is a Raiders fan, so he's a Bay Area guy, so I hear you.
Grew up in the East Bay like myself. Grew up rooting for the A's like myself. So going with Logan Webb. And for Rookie of the Year, here's the theme. The Giants are the fucking theme. And I just talked about Jung-Hoo Lee. The Rookie of the Year is going to be Jung-Hoo Lee.
This is so disgusting how much a pro Giants episode this is. This is so gross.
How did that happen?
Two A's fans just giving so much praise to the Giants. This is disgusting.
Don't know. But yeah, the other.
I like
go into yours, and then we can talk
picks.
about what the other options were.
All right, my NL MVP.
Disgusting.
This person's going for. My NL MVP is going for their third NL MVP. Give me Bryce Harper.
Ooh.
I think Bryce Harper, I don't even remember him on the Nationals anymore. He just so much looks like a Philadelphia Philly to me.
Yeah.
He loves Philly. That team is really good. I think if Bryce could have another insane year, 40-plus bombs, high average, give me Bryce Harper as MVP. I wanted to do something crazy for NL Cy Young. I didn't want to choose a favorite. I wanted to choose somebody that...
like you did last year.
There's going to be...
or I guess looking back.
If this guy's out of baseball, that's going to be very bad. I have the St. Louis Cardinals winning the division, and the reason why they win the division is because of Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray finally puts it all together and gets he looks like a St. Louis Cardinal. I say this about Bryce Harper looking like a Philly. Sonny Gray looks like a St. Louis Cardinal. And
from Vanderbilt,
Sonny Gray,
not that far away, I think.
And just his style of pitching and everything, and his mannerisms and everything, just looks like the St. Louis fans are gonna fall in love with him.
Does he play the game the right way, Paul?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I do love Sonny Gray. Athletics legend Sonny Gray, if I will.
Give me Sonny Gray winning 18 to 21 games this year with a sub 2.5 ERA and winning the National League Cy Young.
How cool is it that he has had some success now after the Yankee trade?
Yes.
He was bad as a Yankee. And that fan base rode his ass, and he's kind of written off. And he had
to go play in Cincinnati and Minnesota for people to forget about him again. And that's why I think St. Louis is the perfect market for him. It's not as small as as Cincinnati or Minnesota, but it's not the bright lights in New York. St.
It's
Louis is a perfect spot for them.
It's a baseball town. They like to call themselves the best fans in baseball.
Which
Whatever.
grinds my gears. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Shut up.
But they
Shut
are
the fuck
dedicated.
up.
They are dedicated to baseball there. I like the park. I like the insignia too. They have a lot of former Cardinals players' faces on that stadium throughout.
Yeah.
So they do care about their baseball, and that is a good spot for our beloved Sonny Gray.
My NL Rookie of the Year,
pick.
I chose this person because I think they're going to get a lot of playing time, and it's not an odds-on favorite. I don't even know if you're going to know this ball player, really. Give me the Chicago Cubs.
I don't think I do.
Michael Busch.
Wow. Former Dodger.
Long-time Dodger prospect. I couldn't believe he's still a Dodger prospect for how long he's been a prospect. But
wow, he's still a Rookie of the Year candidate?
He's a Rookie of the Year candidate, and I think he's going to get everyday first base duties for the Cubs this year.
First base? Really? I thought he was a middle infielder, or third base middle infielder.
He was a second base, and he's been playing a lot of first, and I think he's getting everyday first base reps for the Cubs.
Nice pick. I thought you were going to go with Christopher Morel, but now that I think about it, he's already logged a whole season.
Yes.
He could have been out. So if this was me last year when I took Jeremy Pena as my MVP for the American League, and we'll get into that next week, Christopher Morel would be the National League MVP if I still had that same thinking cap on. The same kind of player from same kind of season.
Rick, who's winning the National League? Who's winning the pennant?
Paul, that's an easy one. It is the Atlanta Braves. That team is just too damn good. Do you feel like there's just a lot of teams that are hella good now? Like, did we always have this? It was always the Yankees and the Sox, but dude, the Mets, the Phillies, the Dodgers, the Padres, it's a lot of
good teams.
Yes. Yeah, and that's just the National League. But the Braves, because they have everything and they have a stacked pitching rotation, but you got Ole, Murphy, Acuna, Albies,
Austin Riley,
Michael Harris. I mean, where does it end?
Yeah,
I see flaws in the Dodgers in some places, but I just don't see it with Atlanta.
I couldn't agree with you more, and that's why your National League pennant winner is the Atlanta Braves this year. Just how we said, like, you can't go against the Dodgers winning the division. You also cannot put the Dodgers winning the pennant when they just can't do it.
Yeah.
When they can do it consistently, you can start doing it. But the Braves are absolutely going to be your pennant winner this year.
And I like that they're not coming off a championship. I know they won it in 2021. So a few years removed from it. I think it's the perfect time again to then get back there. It's kind of like the Red Sox. You know, they had a similar team in between a few of their recent World Series titles. Or maybe I'm thinking of the 2000s teams. But anyways, I think it's time again for them to get back there. I'm surprised that they didn't go further last year. And then the other years after the title, I think Acuna was hurt. So it's, hard to bet against them.
I like it.
If that rotation stays healthy, they're nasty.
And folks, those are your 2024 NL predictions from Carter Tennant Confessions.
And we apologize if you're listening in October of 2024. Maybe you wanted to go back and listen to this episode and hear what our predictions were. We're sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry.
Probably got them all wrong.
Before we get out of here, Rick, I want to say happy show day to you. In about 25 minutes, MLB The Show 24 is nationwide release happens. So happy show day to you.
Happy show day. And it is nice to have a new iteration of the show. a game that
Yes.
is very, very close to our hearts.
Absolutely. And that's what made us think about this top 5 we want to do today. And that
Mm-hmm.
is your personal favorite top 5 songs from a sports video game.
Man.
There are no wrong answers in this top 5. This is your
No.
own personal favorite. And if we don't say yours, we're sorry. But hopefully this makes you think of your favorite soundtracks from video games.
Cho, Madden, NBA 2K, NBA Street. There's so many, ways you can go here. And
Yes.
I kind of just thought back to songs that just were ingrained in my head, and I would repeat the lyrics, certain parts of the song, and couldn't get it out because I was probably like roster building, and this song just always comes on to play when I'm, scouting or whatnot or simulating. So yeah, I have a 5,
Let's hear
and
it.
I will include the game it was from as well, along with the artist. So I will start with. I'm going to start with the most recent. Actually, no, I'll go in reverse order 5 to 1. So number 5 is it happens to be the most recent also, but it's a very quotable song between you and me. It's Oliver Tree Cash Machine from MLB The Show 20. It was a not likely to be in this top 5, and I couldn't deny it. Fucking love that song, and I hated it at first, and a big reason why is probably how much we played the show in 2020 with the pandemic.
Oh yeah,
It felt like this Oliver Tree song was fucking playing all the time, and it was so catchy, and so it makes it into my top 5. It's made it into playlists on my Spotify and everything. Number 4 is a well-known Blink-182 song. It is from Madden 04. It was actually called Action, I believe.
It was.
Madden. And then later on, when it made the Blink self-titled album, it was renamed, right? So,
yes.
Yeah, I have that as my number 4. It was like the first song that played when I popped in Madden 04, and I'm like, oh shit, Blink is on here? Let's go. Number 3 is, I felt like this song was in every video game, every sports video game. I could have sworn it was on a baseball game in some marketing material, but it's from Madden 05, and it's Franz Ferdinand, Take Me Out. How was that? Dude, I'm picturing Fenway Park for some reason in like a preview of an MVP baseball game, but I don't know if it was, but I feel like this song's been in every sports game.
That is a great choice.
It's probably in a bunch of commercials, but yeah. Take me out. Yeah, love that song. Okay, the top 2, dude, this was hard. Number 2 is from Madden 03.
I know it. I knew it.
It is Andrew WK, Party Hard. Party hard.
Let's get a party going. Let's get a party going. Now it's time to party and we'll party hard. Party hard.
That song fucking goes. Holy shit.
Oh, shit.
That was insane. And what was I, 12, 13 at the time? Just partying hard. Didn't know who Andrew WK was, and I think he was on Jackass or something after that. So
I just remember the album cover. It's his face with a bloody nose.
Crazy, man. That was memorable. But my number 1 video game song of all time has a lot of nostalgia to it too. It's from MLB The Show 10, and I believe this is my first iteration that I played of MLB The Show. So this is the first time. You had MLB The Show for quite some years before me. This is the first one I had, and boy, was it the most memorable. Yes. Did I play it at bars? Yes. Did I repeat
Yes.
it? Just yeah. Did I repeat it to myself as I'm just doing daily tasks? How do you like me now? How do you like me now? I think it was in commercials. Was it in a Kia Soul commercial?
It was in a Kia Soul
with
commercial
the dancing
with the sock
hamsters.
puppets.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. The Heavy.
It was
How do you
sock
like me
puppets.
now?
Yep.
From MLB The Show 10. It was it's one of those, like, especially with MLB The Show, there's songs that are going to be on that soundtrack that are from artists you've never heard before, songs you probably wouldn't listen to, and it's catchy and you start to like it and it actually becomes one of your favorite songs ever. And that is How Do You Like Me Now?
That is a fantastic list, Rick. My top 5. Damn it.
What?
It's let's just get into it. My number 5 song goes all the way back to MVP Baseball 2003. Give me Swing Swing by the All-American Rejects.
Oh.
That was one of that baseball video game really got me into baseball video games again. Just got me learning more and more about baseball, how much I played that game. I was a big fan of the Milwaukee Brewers that year with Richie Sexson as the first baseman. And so whenever I hear Swing Swing by the All-American Rejects, I think of Richie Sexson.
Big ass tall righty. What was he, like 6'8"?
Yeah. Number 4, out of NFL Street Volume 2, give me No Reason by Sum 41.
Oh. Nice pull.
That song belongs in NFL Street Volume 2 because it's such an arcade style game, but it was also really intense how hard hitting that game was. And so when that song comes up, and it doesn't like start slow, it just starts and you're like, oh, let's go.
Punches you in the face.
So that's when you could actually control the jukebox on Xbox then. And for a few month period, I turned off every song but No Reason. And so when I was playing the game, it was just that song on repeat for months.
And Sum 41 comes hard. They never disappoint on
never
with their known songs. You bring up a good point, I might add, is back in the day, especially when I was like a kid or a teenager, I turned off a lot of songs that were in the jukebox on the game or on the playlist. And I usually imported my own music when I had the chance, but I would keep some of them. And the good ones stuck around.
And that was a good one for sure. This is where my list gets very funny. Number 3, from Madden 2004, give me Action, also known as Feelin' This.
Feeling this.
By Blink-182.
I'm feeling this.
That's the Madden 2004 soundtrack could possibly be the greatest sports video game soundtrack of all time. You have Back in the Mud by Bubba Sparks. Bubba Sparks. Bubba Sparks.
Wasn't Good Charlotte on that soundtrack?
That was Madden 03 with the anthem. Madden 04 had Bubba Sparks. It had Bone Crusher. It had AFI.
Attention! Oh my god, that Bone Crusher song, bruh.
That Bone Crusher song almost made it to me. So I just want to give a special shout out to the Madden 2004 soundtrack being one of the greatest soundtracks in sports games history. Number 2. My number 2 from Madden 2003, give me Andrew WK Party Hard.
Party hard, party hard. Song goes so hard. I kind of forgot about it recently. I need to play that at a bar.
When I first thought of this list, my top 5 instantly came to me. I'm like, what songs do I think of when I think of sports video games? And Madden 03, Party Hard, Andrew WK did. And number 1, how could it not be The Heavy? And
how do you like me now?
How you like me now? How you like? Funny thing was, it was It was a remix. It was this Beats Mix remix of How You Like Me Now by The Heavy. So it was a different version, but they had that one in MLB The Show.
I ran into a problem trying to find it when I was on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
Is it not on Spotify, or it was a different version? Yeah,
it's
that's
called
weird.
Beats Mix. Beats Mix.
Huh. But it's the same version that you hear on the commercials too, right? I mean, this song was
there's minor changes to there's a minor change to it, but it's basically the same. Oh, that's so funny. Our top 3 was the exact same, just because those 3 songs had such an influence on us growing up playing these games.
And they definitely played them at bars and began really liking the song and sometimes the artist.
Yeah.
But we were already big Blink fans, so it was even cooler that the song was on Madden.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes,
was this before that album came out too? The Blink-182 album?
I think it was all around the same time.
Because why was it named Action originally on the Madden soundtrack? So I feel like it was a single.
Maybe they didn't want to have the thing Feeling This on there. I don't know. And if you remember, the opening line before like the song kicks off says, "Get ready for action."
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at some point they changed it. Well, that was a great list. Did you have any honorable mentions in your list too?
I have just a big group of honorable mentions I'm going to shove into one.
Yeah.
Give me the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series as an honorable mention. You could honestly have a top 5 of just your favorite songs from Tony Hawk Pro Skater series. Especially the first Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not a skippable track on those soundtracks. But if I have to give it to one, I'm going to give it to Blood Brothers by Papa Roach on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 for an honorable mention. But shout out to the entire Tony Hawk series.
So nostalgic if you hear an old Tony Hawk song.
When Psycho Vision comes on by the Suicidal Tendencies, I lose it.
Yeah.
Like, that's a Tony Hawk song.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to mention...
you have an honorable mention?
Yeah, I'll mention one. I have quite a few, but I think the one, it has a certain line in it that just always seemed to be playing when I was like scouting rosters in MLB The Show or looking up prospects. And it's by NF Destiny.
I'm just fulfilling my destiny.
I'm just fulfilling my destiny. It just,
hell yeah.
He says that like 10 times in a row, and it'd be like 2 a.m. and I got to turn the fucking TV down because he's just fucking belting. I'm just fulfilling my destiny.
Well, you were fulfilling your destiny. You were scouting some prospects to draft, Rick.
It plays, and
it does play.
That's why I felt like I needed to mention it. So,
yeah, and I think we fulfilled our destiny with this episode.
I think we did fulfill our destiny with this episode. Real quick, I want to preview a segment for episodes to come.
Oh, yes.
It doesn't need to be the full-on segment here. We're going to preview it because in a couple days, there's the MLB Korea series is going to happen, Dodgers Padres. And so I wanted to kick this off before the season starts. So it's a segment called Yackers Yackers. And
Yackers Yackers.
Yackers Yackers. And the rules are each one of us has to pick one person to hit a home run before the next episode is recorded.
Got it.
If I have the rules correct. So, since there's only one game, well, I guess there's 2 games. Is there 2 games in Korea? Yeah. There's 2 games in Korea, but there's only one series this week, so we have to pick between the Padres and the Dodgers. So, I will kick it off with my pick, and I'm going to pick the hometown hero, Ha-Sung Kim, to hit a yacker in Korea.
I was hoping you were going to pick Ha-Sung. Well, I didn't hear that one. What was that one?
Yackers Yackers. Ha-Sung
I was going to choose
Ha-Sung Kim.
Ha-Sung Kim. I was going to choose Ha-Sung Kim, but you went first this time. I'll go first next time. In that case, Give me Mookie. Give me your MVP. Give me Mookie Betts to hit a home run this in the Seoul Series.
Hell yeah. That'll be sick if he does. It's crazy that neither one of us are picking Shohei Ohtani.
That's
But,
old news.
Yeah. You want a fun pick. And
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. The first iteration of Yackers Yackers. It's me with Ha-Sung Kim, needs to hit a home run this week, and it's you with Mookie Betts. Good luck.
Perfect. And next week we will go over the predictions for the American League. But this was a hell of a time predicting the National League with you.
Yep, and like we said, there's no way we would have got to the American League in this episode.
Right.
It's way too
On that
much.
note, I'll see you next time, Rick.
That was another episode of Card Attendant Confessions. Thank you, Paul.
Those are our confessions.
Botch.